The foundation of sex is mental, all based in the mind. That can either further your relationship, how deep you are mentally, or it can sever it or give it less longevity. Mental connection. On this song by Dead Prez, Mind Sex, very good song because obviously, the brothers picked up on it that sex is mental, but he couldn't get away from the weed reference. You niggas can't stop smoking weed to save your lives, but that's okay. They smoke weed. That's part of the hip hop culture now, and that's what they do, But that actually limits your thinking. Smoking weed, drugs, all that limits your thinking when you are in thoughts of coming together with a woman or coming together with the opposite sex. People think that it furthers it, but it actually limits it because of all the chemicals and things on the weed and things they spray on it, that they don't tell you about. I talked about the strands and things like that. Anyhow, sex is the foundation of relationships, all relationships between women and men. They want to get away from that. If you have an attractive, or a woman thinks a man's attractive, and a man thinks a woman is attractive, there's really no such thing as friends. He has it on his mind, and I guarantee if a woman sees an attractive man or a man she thinks is attractive, she already done thought about in her mind how it would be to lay with that man, to be with him. She might even take it further to, how would their genetics mix together. But she already thought in her mind how it would be to have that man sexually. Same thing with the man. He already thinks in his mind how it would be to have that woman sexually. It's natural. It's very natural. It can further the imagination, of people, your mental connection, and sex, thinking about sex with somebody. Good sex with somebody who captures your mind can have you thinking about family and a future with these people that you connect with, or whether it'll just be a hit it and quit it sort of situation, based on the intelligence. You hear all of the little hip hop cats. They're up there talking about, yeah, that broad is dumb, this chick is dumb, I'm gonna just hit it, got about my business. But I guarantee you, if a woman is intelligent, a man will wait to lay with her. He will wait. He'll take her out. He'll spend money on her if she stimulates his mind. He doesn't mind waiting. The men who don't wait, the men who just want to go right to it, to the physical act, are the men who are not stimulated by you mentally. That's why you see a lot of the women out here today with their ass out, because they can't stimulate a man mentally. That's all they have. The more she has her ass out, the limited her conversation and her intelligence is. You see that? She knows that she cannot capture a man mentally. She cannot captivate a man based on intelligence. She knows that as long as she unveils herself, the shorter her skirt is, the tighter her pants are, that's the way she'll keep attention. And she also realizes that as soon as the man gets that, as soon as the man conquers that, he's on to the next woman. He becomes bored. But a woman who captures a man mentally can have him forever. She can. It's natural for a man to want to reach out to a woman sexually all the time. He wants to send out his messages through the semen, through the DNA. That's what we're opening up on and talking about tonight on this State of Mentel radio broadcast. Sex on a higher level, sex on the mental level, the sex mental power, the sexual mind power, excuse me. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares, and this is State of Mentel radio. Sexual mind power is a reality, and it can further a person's aspirations in life if your mind is captured by a person. A woman who is intelligent, who captures the mind of a man, can change his life forever. Because if she holds out long enough on sex and manipulates to make that man a better person, to point him in the right direction in life, to mentally play chess with the man, she can change his life forever. I used to tell women all the time, I said, you women have the power to make these black males out here pull their pants up on their ass. All you got to do is tell them you don't want to have sex no more, that don't attract you, that don't turn you on. And you'll see all these niggas overnight pull their pants up. No more dirty white boxes. No more cats hanging on the corner with their ass out. All you got to do is, verbally say to men, or start going out with brothers who are intelligent, who going somewhere and doing something like that, you'll start to see a whole lot of niggas in college, in school, doing things. You black women have the mental ability to clean the black man up overnight. All you got to do is withhold sex. That's all you got to do. The intelligent ones, the intelligent black women out there who are listening to my words, they know what I'm talking about. The ignorant ones don't. They vibrate on a low frequency, so they don't get it. Those are the ones I talked about earlier. They just as worse as the men, and they, but these always end up being the bitter black women who end up being ran through sexually. They wide as the Holland Tunnel. Everybody done, they the neighborhood property. Everybody, neighborhood doorknob, everybody took a turn because there was nothing there for a man to captivate him mentally to make him stay with you. Nor did you try to further your intelligence. You chose to physically use your body as a homing device, as a magnet to attract, when the best magnet that you have is your mind. I said that women, just as men, can imagine you. If you capture a man's mind, he can imagine a future with you. He can start thinking of you in wife terms, family terms. You hear the little cats all the time talking about, yeah, I want her to be my wifey. She ain't my wifey. I want her to be my wifey. Why do they say that? Because the little side piece to jump off, she's the dumb one. And the wifey, or the so-called wife, she captivated him in some way mentally. She captivated him in some way, shape, or form. She caught his attention, caught his mind by something she said, by how she furthered his imagination. And I'm not talking about how, you people, you women out there, you men out there who are book smart, so-called educated. I'm not talking about you capturing somebody's imagination. 9 times out of 10, you can't keep anyone as well. You see all these so-called educated black women. They don't, they were up there talking about. They did a documentary talking about why educated black women couldn't get men. Right? Why they single? Why they, have a problem getting black men, or being with an eligible mate. Simple. Because they're not intelligent. I said education, or being educated, doesn't translate into intelligence. Intelligence has been lost. Mental power has been lost as we've moved into the new millennium, and it's further losing its power to attract the opposite sex. The power of the mental power is starting to dissipate amongst the opposite sex. This is why your connections don't last anymore. Okay? This is why people don't see, or men don't see a future with women, and women don't see a future with men. It's all a jump-off thing. It's all a jump-off type of thing. It's all just quick sex, babies, you just happen to get here. That's a sign when you see that the men and women are not coming together and marrying and staying together. That's a sign that the mind power, the mental power of that union is dissipating. It's disappearing. It's fading from view. And that's meant to happen. See, because it's understood by the powers that be in society that when there's no mental stimulation in a relationship, that relationship will not last at all. As I said, you have in the act of sex, you have men who reach out physically in the semen to touch the woman's egg. In the act itself, it's a semental message that is carrying DNA in the semen. I'm going to say it again, the word semen. It's no coincidence that it's S-E-M-E-N, because semen does carry DNA. It does carry messages on it. I said men need to pass semen like they pass thoughts, like they pass messages. It's a form of communication. When a man ejaculates into a woman, or when he needs to attract to a woman, or he needs to reach out. When he does reach out to have sex physically with a woman, that is the physical side acting out on the mental. We always have the need to further our bloodline with the woman, connect with the woman. The imagination keeps that connection coming, keeps it moving forward. Without that connection, without that mental connection, without that imagination, what you have is not a mental connection, it's not a strong, high mental connection. You have a submental connection, or what they refer to in, a lot of these sexual trysts amongst humans as animal magnetism. It becomes low-grade sex. Sex without mental connection. That happens. That's why they introduced the term animal magnetism into sexual encounters amongst human beings. Animal magnetism. That means that they attract like animals. That there is no rhyme or reason. It's just screwing. And this is what's promoted to us. I talked about that last time I spoke about sex. I forget what the title is. It escapes my mind right now. But I spoke about that there's an animal magnetism that's being pushed here. There is a reason to limit your connections and limit your time together, because then that means you do not think. If you notice in society now, they have what's called hookup parties. This is where people just meet randomly, have sex, right? And they go about their business. That's being pushed in this society. You can get numbers in all the inner cities, big numbers with parties that's going on. You see orgies and you see partner swapping and whatnot, because it takes the intelligence out of the connection. Sex without intelligence, sex without mental connection is dead sex. It's meant to be dead sex, because it's the same thing as plugging into a vibrator or fake vagina. It's the same thing, dead sex. That translates as you can have sex with anything or any type of object, because now the woman is an object. Is not the woman referred to as a sex object? Right? The only way you can refer to a woman as a sex object is if you don't think of her in a intelligent term, or you don't think of her on a mental level before you get to the sexual part. It's just something to do. There was a deeper connection between the man and the woman mentally that furthered sex and made it greater. Sex, good sex with a man and a woman, can actually make you women think that a man is smarter than he appears to be. If he does certain things right, if he presents himself right, if he uses a certain tone right, if he says certain words to you, he connects to you mentally. That's all done for a reason. See, men today, they don't feel like they have to go the extra mile mentally to connect with you, because what they have in front of their face now is told that all they have to do is act a certain way, or, they don't have to, try to raise the vibration mentally when connecting with you. So they come at you any kind of way. That's why a lot of you black women, y'all get these black males out here who don't feel a need to raise the bar, because you don't raise the bar mentally. You don't make sure you challenge them. You don't make them come at you mentally. See, because when you don't do that, what you're doing is you're cutting him off at the kneecaps. You're limiting him. When you don't make a man come to you mentally, when you don't make him raise the bar and try to stimulate your mind, what ends up happening is that he'll come to you any kind of way. This is why you have broken relationships. This is why you end up disappointed with the man. He turns on and he alters his life for you. The man will go to school. He will find ways to make money. He will further his intelligence, all to get between your legs, all to have sex with you, all to make that connection with you. Is this not true? He will go out of his way to make that connection. He will alter his life. You can alter his life by telling him what you will not accept, by closing your legs to ignorance. This man made a whole song about mind sex. Obviously, certain people vibrate on that higher frequency. Certain people understand it. We understand, or we have an ultra standing, that sex has to first be mental. That's the best sex. That's the lasting sex. That's the lasting attraction. When it's a mental connection. You cannot have a lasting attraction for anyone, you understand, if there's not a mental connection that takes place. I said that cemental fluid that moves down the spinal column, that will actually travel up the spinal column before it comes out of the testicles, moves up the spinal column up to the medulla oblongata to receive that light, to travel right back down from the brain down the spine, right? As it received that light from the mental connection down the spine, back out through the testicles and into a woman. That's messages on that. That's DNA on that. That's a man's last physical contact with you as a form of communication. It's like a man speaking and messages coming through his mind before he gets the words out, right? But now you see a lot of men, they don't think before they say things. They just blurt things out. Same way men have sex. They just blurt it out. It's just something to do. There's no mental rhyme or reason. There used to be a time when men got excited about sex because it was a mental stimulation there. Now they just do it out of routine because this is just something I got to do. And if you see a lot of young black men nowadays, they don't even look at the woman. You know, like I said, they don't even look at the woman and they don't get a image of her in their heads anymore. They don't get it. It's just something to do to impress their friends. They're more interested in impressing their friends and looking like the man for talking to a woman and coming off as a pimp or whatever they call it, a stud, whatever they want to call it. They're more interested in impressing men mentally at their sexual prowess than the woman. That's a reality. They get more out of telling men about their sexual conquest and impressing men mentally and having men look at them than they get out of actually having the woman and impressing her and making a mental connection with her. You got certain men who parade their women up and down with their ass out, you know, and within the general populace and in the conscious community, who parade their women up and down because they're more interested in what men think about their women than what their women think. That's all done to catch the imagination of men. They're more interested in what men think. They're more interested in capturing the imaginations of men than capturing the imagination of a woman. See, because that's when sex and the encounter of it was fresh and new. That's what made it exciting. That vibration, that mental power, that mental force, that made the connection greater. However, because that's lost, it got lost in translation, it got lost in mental translation, it's no longer there. It's not in the way you're thinking anymore. It's dead. As I said, you have dead sex now. Dead sex is what this generation is upholding. Mindless sex. As soon as they introduced things like orgies and wife swapping and things like that, that's when they took the mental connection out of sex. It didn't come out through things like polygamy or nothing like that. It didn't come out through that. It came out through sex orgies and wife swaps. Because in the sex orgies and things like that, that was the greatest disconnect. I had a woman tell me on Facebook, she said, a man and woman are to keep it spicy and, switch up and, try partners and things like that. And I said, you got to be kidding me. Now, this is a black woman telling me that. Of course, she adopted that mentality from the white man. And that's their mentality. Because these people are not mentally connected when it comes to sex. They're not mentally connected to it. This is why you'll see white people, they'll go, and in your East, they'll go to a club. The women, I used to work as a bouncer in a club. They'll go and start kissing up on the first guy they meet that night. And this is why you'll see them, they'll have herpes all in their damn mouth, sores on their mouth. They'll kiss up on anything. They'll suck anything. They'll sleep or lay down with anything. They'll screw anything. Because, like I said, there's no mental connection. It's just an animal act. Hell, that's why they do bestiality. They have animal sex. They have sex with animals because they're on the same level as the animals. And these are the people that you listen to, and these are the people you follow when it comes to sex. Sexual swapping. No black man in his right mind is going to let his woman lay with another man. It's not even in his mental makeup. Unless he don't really give a damn about that woman. You understand? He don't really care nothing about her, and he just using her. Or he's a faggot. I'm going to say it straight up. He must be receiving some rod on the other end. That's the only man that's going to let another man sleep with his woman, a black man. All the rest of the races, like I said, there's no mental connect with them. They have no connection with their woman. And the white woman and all the rest of the races of women, they know that. They know that. They know that it's a cold connection between them and their mates. That's why they seek a darker connection, we say. They seek that out. Because no one, when stimulated, thinks about the woman like the black man. No one puts a imagination or sees an image of a woman. It can be as visceral and very go into description when talking about a woman, whether he's talking about her curves and her body and whatnot, and you can see the stimulation in his eyes and his approach and his voice. You feel it. It also starts a vibration in the woman. His voice, his movement, what he says. That can either get you what you want or not. We'll be right back. Women will say that, girl, if this man just be quiet and he don't say one word, he gonna get something. Right? Why do a woman say that? Because she knows that the man is stupid. She knows he's ignorant. See, when a woman makes up in her mind whether she's going to sleep with a man, she looks at him, she's already imagining, the images done already started in her mind based on what she's seeing. The images done already started in her mind. The tone of his voice, the fact he might not even have to say anything, how he moves. The images done started in her mind already, and she knows whether she's going to sleep with this man or not. All he might have to do is just introduce himself. And anything after that he says that will mess that up, any messages he relays that's off mentally or just sounds stupid, will close them legs up right away. Why? Because the woman in her mind has already made it. She's already fantasized in her mind. It's like a high. A person who has a high, you can blow a woman's high because she has a mental high or a mental fantasy of what she thinks this man thinks of how he is mentally. And by him opening his mouth and removing that doubt, messing up that high, that can blow the sex altogether. After that, the woman don't give a damn how you look, how curly your hair is, or wavy, or whatever, however you niggas doing, how you think, oh, I pulled her and this and the third. She don't care about that. You opened your mouth. You said something stupid, and that closed her up. No sex for you. Why? Because she's very mental, whether you know it or not. She be like, damn, this nigga was going to get something till he said something stupid. You cut her off. You turned her off mentally. So now there's not one hope of a physical connection. All right? You do that. You can turn a woman off just by saying something stupid. That proves that sex is mental. You don't have to be all that attractive, and if you say something, if you jar a woman's mind in a certain way, that could be an open door to you. Men will go out here and get so-called conscious and intelligent and read books and, yeah, my sister this and yeah, my sister that. And yeah, yes, my sister this and yes, my sister that. And that translates into can we have sex? All that translates into can we have sex? Yeah, my sister this and yeah, my sister that. All that translates into can we have sex? It don't matter how he's saying. It don't matter, you talking about Egypt and Africa. Can we have sex? That's always on his mind. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. That's normal. That's natural. I said that a man needs to release semen just as he releases thoughts. That mental fluid has to meet your egg. It has to relay those messages. I said the man's penis and testicles are a relay system for mental messages, to pass out DNA messages, his history, his bloodline, his family, his ways of thinking, all that he wants to connect with you, with your DNA, with your eggs, with your genes. You understand? That's a mental urging, because it's something that he saw in you that made him want to mate with you. It's something that you said, something you relayed to him mentally that made him want to mix his seed with you. Mental connection again. Or something where you said something stupid that made him not want to. I don't want no baby from that dumb broad. It's all mental, even on the submental state. But like I said, they try to vibrate it on a submental state. That's why if you notice, if you start speaking intelligently to a woman, nowadays, these young ladies, these females out here, they get turned off real quick. They're starting to get turned off now. This new generation, they starting to get turned off. If you're not talking about something stupid like a pair of Nikes or a cell phone or something, or Chris Brown and Rihanna, some nigga nonsense, some submental nigga nonsense, they get turned off real fast. And it's not so much even because, yeah, okay, the submental has been lowered, yeah, but it's because they can't relate. They taught that a nigga with his pants hanging down, they think that's a man. They think that's, somebody to sleep with. That's already programmed in their mind. You understand that? It's nothing beyond that. They don't know how to relate to anybody mentally. You understand that? That's another reason why a lot of these women go to other women. They go to other women and they become lesbians because women, they can't find a man to relate to them on a certain level. It's not so much sexual, because if you look at a lot of these women who are getting with other women, who are pulling the women in, they look like goddamn men. They look like they big as damn truck drivers. These old big bulldaggers. They get the prettiest women. Why? Because deep down, she's still a woman, and she knows how to connect mentally with another woman. A lot of times, women, if you connect with them mentally, if you listen to them and let them, let them just put out their thoughts and just let a woman talk long enough, she'll sleep with you. Just be quiet. Just let her talk. Just let her express herself mentally. She'll sleep with you. You understand? An old timer told me that. Said, just let them talk. You ain't got to really talk. Uh-huh, yeah, uh-huh, right, uh-huh, yeah, uh-huh. Women are the best. Women, the lesbians, they know they can be the best listeners because that's that testosterone in some of them. You know, they got an overflow of testosterone, and they got enough of estrogen to keep their mouths shut, and they know how to be, you know, men and women, but except in the most important place. You know, but part of a good sexual connection is just letting someone convey their thoughts, letting someone, you know, speak fully and get out what they got to get out, because people always have the need to relay messages. And if you let someone relay their messages mentally to you, then they will relay themselves, they will let themselves relay that message to you physically. It works hand in hand. Dumb sex never lasts. Even the people who link up on a submental level, right? They can stay together, you know, for a while, you know, on that submental level, but then somebody always starts to evolve. There's always some form of evolution, right? Now, you got certain people who don't evolve to a level, and they just stay where they at, you know, and there's not a clue, there's not a spark there. Those are people that connected on a submental level, on a low level. Like I said, like two crackheads. Their thoughts are to basically always, in their minds, to get high, to do the same things they do in a rotation, and that's it, right? That's their mindset. They can stay together. Like Chris Rock said, they can stay together forever. You know, the church people, they revolve around the church. They can stay together forever. Their mindset is in the church. It's beyond just sex. But for someone who is constantly evolving in their way of thinking, advancing in their way of thinking, they seek satisfaction. They seek to always be satisfied, and it's the hardest thing to have someone for them. Because you could be with somebody, and they can meet your sexual gratification for a short period of time, right? They can meet it for a short period of time. That's why, if you notice, you women will have, a lot of times you'll have the guy that you can talk to. If you can't find it all in one man, you'll have the man that you can talk to, the one you can share thoughts with, who ends up being the mangina. You know, you'll have that guy, and then you'll have the guy you screw, the monkey. You know, the nigga who just got a strong back, strong arm, can lift you and do everything with you, but he just don't have a strong mind. He's not trying to listen to you. He's not trying to hear your problems. He's not trying to talk to you. He's just for that. Rarely do the two meet within the black man. Rarely do the two meet. Or a lot of times you women don't want the two to meet, because a lot of times you've been brainwashed into believing that you can't find a man who can stimulate your mind as well as stimulate you physically. You think if a man stimulates you mentally, he can't stimulate you physically. You know, you'll put the man who will listen to you and talk to you the most, you'll put him in the friendship zone. He'll never lay with you. He ain't gonna get the ass. The man who don't care about you, don't want to talk to you, just got his mind on one thing, and you already know what he got his mind on, 9 times out of 10, he'll get it. Because in your mind, you figure that he got to be good at that if that's all his mind is on. If that's all his focus is, and even that takes a mental, that's on some sort of mental level. That takes a mental connection. Because you could read that nigga that just, he just wants to, he just want to plow your ass. You already know that. You like, damn, well, I guess I better let him plow my ass then. Because he going to do a damn good job, because that's all, that's like a plumber. If a plumber go to school and study plumbing, that's all his mind is on, is plumbing and fixing pipes, then goddamn, he a good plumber. If a man, is a carpenter and all he focuses on is being a carpenter and hammering up nails and stuff like that, then goddamn, he a good carpenter. If you got a man who just, a master pipesman, and he just lay the pipe and that's all he think about, he ain't trying to have no conversation with you, he ain't trying to talk to you, he don't want to hear your problems, he just doing that, then 9 times out of 10 you going to go for that. Now, if the guy who's willing to listen to you, he figured by taking the long road and just listening to you and letting you get the mental part out and whatnot, you figuring, oh yeah, he won it, but I don't want to give it to him because he not man enough to come out and just say it and take it. You want somebody to be bold and just push that sort of energy. So he already messed himself up in a way mentally with you, whereas he can't get it. He can't. Your mind has been fixated on the man who's fixated on you physically now. Because as I said, rarely do you find that rare combination of men who possess the physical and the mental power to stimulate you sexually, mentally, all in one. Rarely do you find that. I used to bug out off. I used to hear some of the conversations, and I look at some of the women, nice looking women with guys, you could look in certain black males' faces. I don't even say black men, because I'm gonna do a broadcast called "The Last Black Men on Earth," where I see a lot of these so-called black males out here, and I wonder what the hell these niggas are talking about. What is it that's so interesting that you? And I know a lot of you black women turn off mentally, when y'all hear these niggas just talking, and I'm just like, damn. I'm like, how do you have a conversation? What's the conversation like on the phone with these niggas? I mean, it's really. I know it got to be simple-minded. What is it about? Going to a party, sex, new clothes, come out the new cell phone. What is it that these niggas could possibly be talking about to stimulate you sexually? It can't really be nothing. I see why a lot of times you women are grabbing your vibrators or just looking at other women. Like I said, it got nothing to do with men as far as sexual gratification. It's all mental. You can't have a decent conversation with a man. He doesn't stimulate you in the right place in your correct G-spot, which is your mind, your imagination. They should call it an I spot, a.k.a. the imagination zone. That should be the real erogenous zone. If a man can't stimulate or tap into your imagination, if he can't produce pictures in your mind of a future, a bright and brave new world, if he can't produce that in you, then you laying with the wrong man. If all you could think of when you lay down and screw some nigga is, I got to get up and pay these bills, or, I got to get up and I got to do this, or you trying to get money out of a nigga. Because I always said, when women try to get money out of a man, that's the last resort. That's because the man don't have nothing really mentally to offer you. That's why you end up trying to get money out of him. That's when, I need my cell phone bill paid. I'll lay with this nigga. I need my cell phone bill paid. I need my rent paid. This nigga get money. You know you can't get nothing mentally out of him, because a real man who could put it down mentally and bring pictures into your imagination, into your mind, he will stir up ideas for you to make money, to do certain things. He'll make you see or have a brighter future. He'll produce images and pictures in your head. That's what one who truly possesses a real sexual magnetism can do. You understand? Not some nigga who you sitting around talking about, I'll lay with this nigga. He got some money. I can pay my rent, myself. And a lot of you black females do that. A lot of y'all do that. A lot of you just like, this nigga ain't talking about nothing, but I'll give him some time for it. I give him about an hour just to get some money. I need some money, or, just because I want to get off or whatever, I'm just bored. You having empty sex. No mental stimulation. He's supposed to push your imagination beyond what it is. And I know these niggas out here not doing that for y'all. I know it. You could be with a man, and he could push you past a point or to a point where you like, I can't get nothing from this anymore. He's not stimulating me. He's not, making me feel like every day is a new day. That's what the man is supposed to make you feel like. Every day is a new day with him. He's supposed to stimulate your imagination. It's not just the sex. Like I said, a man can move a certain way, turn his hip a certain way. He could, pick up the stamina and things like that. But like I said, that's not enough to carry a relationship on. It's not enough. Because if it was, a lot of y'all still be together with these men out here. Because, hell, the black man, all he want, he's been reduced to just a goddamn screw machine anyway, a sex machine. So if all he's been reduced to is a sex machine, then what the hell, like I said, that would be enough for y'all to stay together. A lot of y'all, like I said, y'all stay together out of, because that's just the routine when you do stay with these niggas, because it's the routine. You got babies by him, and the nigga, he makes sure he gets, if he like you and you cook good, or you lay, he makes sure he put a baby in you right away. You understand? Because he knows he can't catch you or keep you any other way mentally. So he makes sure either he'll put a baby in you real fast, or what he will do is spend money real fast. It'll come out of his pocket. He'll take you on trips. He'll do this. He'll do that. You understand? I had an ex. She one point we was talking. She threw her current. This was a while ago. She threw her current guy friend up in my face. I said, yeah, but. And this guy started talking to me. He was talking reckless. I'm using my personal experience. He was talking reckless to me about, him and her together right now. And I'm like, yeah. But the guy knew all about me. He's telling me about, I hear you do this. I hear you do that. I hear you do that. I said, stupid nigga. Do you know she's still thinking about me, right? That's why you know so much about me. But, nigga, I ain't never heard nothing about you. What does that say? You a trick. You a trick. Most of you black males out here, for these black women, are just tricks. You just being used. You understand? You just a daily pump. So get over yourself, nigga. When you sit up here and you think that, I pulled her, I got her, you know what I'm saying? You ain't pulled nothing. You ain't got nothing. She decided she want to be with you based on the fact that there ain't too many niggas out here and it was just your lucky day. You understand? She wanted to sit on something. She didn't want to sit on big rods and a fake rod. She wanted some warm male to sit on, not because she couldn't find a man. She couldn't find somebody to stimulate her imagination, so she just picked you because you the toy of the moment. Notice something with a lot of these black women and celebrity in the entertainment industry. Let me draw your attention to Beyonce. Notice how a lot of them do. They'll be with another celebrity, or they'll get married. Notice it'll take a long time before they have a child with that person. Why do they do that? Reason being is because they don't want no real connection with that person. They trying to see how long it's gonna last. Will this guy stimulate them in time? Y'all like him enough? I'll marry him. I'll have sex with him. But them women don't want the pill. They making sure they're not having no babies with these guys right away because these men don't stimulate them. They only end up having the baby because they like, well, damn, I ain't getting no younger. You know, look like I'm gonna be with this nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be with him. So that's what happened with Jay-Z and Beyonce. Look how long she was with this dude. She probably was like, I don't want no baby. She used her career as an excuse. But she's like, I don't really like this nigga, but I'll be with him. I have a baby. I ain't getting no younger. He got money, and I could live. I could tolerate this nigga. Because a woman, if you captivate her mentally. You understand? If she could actually see broad visions of the future with you, she'll have your baby right away. Right away, immediately. But if a woman is sitting here and she's like, I'm not ready yet, maybe in a few years and whatnot, I got my job, well, that's just an excuse. You don't really do it for her mentally, and she just want to have an exit plan. That's why she does that. You don't do it for her. She don't really see, the picture's not really clear. It's blurry. She could kind of see it with you, but she's not going to have a baby with you until she sees it all the way mentally with you. She's not going to do it with you. She's not going to have a baby with you. She's not going to lock herself in. Because a lot of times when these women have babies, they know they locking themselves in with a man. They know that. But you ain't figured it out yet. Me and a friend of mine, we heard this young guy talking about, I be pulling these chicks. He young cat, he be pulling these chicks, and he be doing it with these doing. He be pulling older women. I said, I was going to school a young boy. I said, you ain't pulling nothing. He said, you just the screw of the day. And a lot of you women, y'all really don't want the screw of the day. You want somebody that you can relay messages to. You want mind sex. You want somebody to further your imagination sexually. A good woman who captures a man's mind don't have to give up no ass. None whatsoever. You got men that'll run up and down. She don't got to show her ass. She ain't got to wear tight skirts. She ain't got to wear low skirts. Just the mental power. She can get men to do whatever she wants. Don't have to open her legs not one time. Because her mind is that tight. Because her presentation and how she presents her thoughts is that tight. You women should want to get to that level. I've met such women where it almost would feel like, you want to be with them sexually and whatnot, but damn, it almost feel like a crime, like if you did, like, damn, I don't want to even lower you. You'll feel like it's an honor to lay with these women. You can't help but to put them on a pedestal. That's not what is promoted with the black man or the so-called black male and the black female today. We can't wait to knock your ass off the pedestal and knock you in the dirt. And a lot of y'all can't wait to fall into the dirt. A lot of y'all can't wait to come up off that mental pedestal. You know? It's just as exciting to a man to talk you out of something. Use his mind to beguile you, to talk you into something or talk you out of something. And to formulate imagination and imagine things with you. Because, even to an extent, a man likes the game. He likes to figure out what it is that he can do to get you. He likes to do that to an extent. I'm not saying all the way. Don't keep playing the game all the way out. But he likes it. A man likes to be stimulated. He likes to figure out what is it that he can say to you. If it's just that easy, if it's just like, with nothing. If there's no mental connection there, like I said, one and done. One and done. He'll be in and out. You will never keep a man just based on sex. Unless you do something a little special, a little bit different. We're going to talk about that when we come back. I'm about to draw you all a picture, and I want you to pay attention closely. Turn off anything that you have on. I want you to listen closely. There's a reason why they took, in religion, they took the whole idea of God having sex with a woman out of the equation. There's a reason why they didn't give God a woman. Not for so much for the homosexual act of it. Yeah, that was part of it, and we'll go into that, in a future broadcast. Does religion breed homosexuality and pedophilia? Well, yeah, that's an upcoming show. Y'all gonna love that one. But anyway, there's a reason why the religious world, the theologians, they took the idea of God being sexual out of the equation. Took a woman from him. They even told you in the Immaculate Conception, that God sent an angel. Or no, they said Mary just appeared to be, with child, like no sexual contact. God touched her and she was pregnant, but not with no sexual contact. Right? There's a reason why. Because God or Supreme Being would vibrate sexually on a mental level. First and foremost, when we talk about mind sex, that's the level that gods vibrate on. Gods and goddesses vibrate on a mental sex power. What did the church do? The church took sex down to an animal power, an animal magnetism. They made sex dirty and cheap. Did they not? Did they not teach that sex was wrong before marriage, or sex was, they made sex seem dirty just for procreation. That's all it's supposed to be for, procreation. It's not supposed to be for nothing else. You're not supposed to enjoy sex. You're supposed to just lay down, take it missionary style, and that's it. That's how the church did it, right? They made sex dirty, animalistic. They said it was a sin. I'm going to tell you something. They did that because they wanted sex to be on that level in the minds of people, in the minds of the humans. They wanted sex on an animalistic mindset. They didn't want you to think of sex on a higher purpose. That's why they did that. Because if you start thinking, damn, God, the Supreme Being, has sex, it'll make you start to think, well, how does God, how would God come up to a woman or a goddess? How would he, get it across that he wanted to be with that goddess? How would he? It would make you start thinking on a higher level about sex. They didn't want that. The church, the theologians, the powers that be that control the church and religion, and also wanted to control your sexual contact with one another, they didn't want that. What they wanted was animal magnetism. They wanted dirty sex, filthy sex. That's what they wanted. They wanted it to be a sin, right? To have sex. Meanwhile, they molesting kids, they doing homosexuality, all kinds, because sex is a sin. So they consider all sex a sin. So why not throw in the pedophilia and the bestiality and everything else and homosexuality? Because it's all a sin. That's how they look at sex. Animal magnetism. Because the people, your humans, are animals. So, of course, they're going to bring sex down to an animal vibration, an animal magnetism. Animals release what's called pheromones, or a scent, a strong odor. A lot of animals let out a strong odor. Cats, dogs, just animals in general let out an odor when they're hot for each other and when they're horny for each other to have sex. Notice the humans, the white woman, and some of your Africans, they'll talk about they like a man to be musty, right? A musty, funky man they want to have sex with. A scent. That's all based on an animal magnetism. You could tell a black woman here in America, we could tell y'all different. You smell a funky ass man, you're going to tell him to go wash your ass. That's how you know that y'all not the same people. The white woman, the Africans, they want a funky ass man. Musty. Some women want man hair all over his goddamn face. You know what I mean? Stink. An odor. Because that turns them on. They vibrate on an animal magnetism. You vibrate on a mental frequency when it comes to sex. A mental frequency. An almond frequency or almond magnetism. What is an almond magnetism? An omni-mental magnetism. I'm going to say it again. An omni-mental magnetism. A continuous mental magnetism. The word omni means continuous. Always continuous. Omni, it's the same thing. It's the same phonetic. Always mental. Always turning out pictures and creating imagination. Always drawing pictures. But they want you to drop it down to an animal magnetism, and y'all have done it. You understand? A lot of our people have done it. They make that the new so-called progressive sex practices. Like I said, when a woman told me, the so-called black woman, or the so-called black female who has been adulterated with white sexual degradation and been degraded, talking about wife swapping and hooking up and with just anybody. The nigger woman is off. Sorry to say it, she's off. I'm gonna call her when I say it, the nigger woman. I'm not talking about you black women. I'm not. That's no reflection on you black women. Not to you sisters who know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Like I talk about the nigger man. He has his natural mate, the nigger woman, the degenerates, the nigger trash. They vibrate on a low mental frequency, an animal magnetism. Funky niggas, funky women. You understand? They don't want us, y'all smelling good, and, and connecting mentally and whatnot, and fostering a future together. They don't want that. They don't want that. Hell, you black women that lay with the white men, you black men that lay with the white women, y'all carry an animal magnetism with y'all. You attracted to animals. That's obvious. There's a reason why you carry that. Why you vibrate on that low magnetism, on that low scale. A lot of you have their genetics in you. And you naturally attract to them. You got a lot of our people walking around with that genetic in them, where they can't help but to vibrate on a low mental frequency. They can't help to make their connections based off of a pseudo-intellectual connection. You ever hear these educated niggas, how they made up and how they talk? You ever hear the conversation that's as dry as goddamn white toast? These niggas, they the educated ones, they crack you up. They never quite, you can never quite understand how it is, they get it, get together and whatnot. What is the conversation like? Just like I said, I can't understand what the conversation is like with the average Negro. I don't understand what the average Negro woman, I don't understand the conversation. I don't understand the level of conversation. I don't understand what the stimulation is. And it was a time where when we heard stupid conversation, we thought like, damn, you want to talk to this dummy? Or you want to talk to that dummy? Now, when we raise our eyebrows when we hear stupid conversation, people look at us like, damn, what's wrong with how we talking? Y'all acting like y'all stuck up. Why you don't want to, as if we supposed to lower ourselves mentally. As if we supposed to vibrate on some animal magnetism now, on some stupidity, on some pseudo intellectual nonsense, on some old Masters and Johnson garbage, on some latex garbage. You could just tell it's all their sexual attachments is sterile, artificial. You so-called educated people, there's no real mental connection there with you. How can you have sex with some guy that talks like that? How do you black women have sex with somebody who talk like that? Hell, the white woman, she used to it. Carbon copies. I just don't get it. The furthering of a generation sexually producing people where, like I said, you're going to have new generations of people, like I said, where they're trying to slow down the mental connection of man and woman. That is our bridge toward godship or toward that higher mentality, becoming supreme beings. If a man and woman can't come together mentally, then there's no shot at supremacy. There's no shot at becoming that supreme race of people, those supreme beings, advancing as a supreme group of people. If a man and woman can't come together, that's why so much attention is based on cheapening and lowering the mental connection between the two, turning the woman into an object. No mental connection to her. No sentimental value. No connection. It's not allowed. You black women know what I'm talking about. Like, you form a sentimental connection. Usually you would form one if you had a father in your life. But if you don't have a father in your life, a lot of times you don't know how to form a sentimental connection with a man. Notice the word sentimental. You usually, like I said, women would usually look for men who carry a certain mind frame as their father, who if their father or their uncle or whatever was strong, and they admired and they look for that in a man, subconsciously or consciously look for that in a man. That's that sentimental connection. But when you take the father out of the equation, and like I said, you put a bunch of males there in his place, you're going to get what you have now, animal magnetism. Because a lot of these girls, they was molested by males who their mothers might have brought home. They were looked at like sex objects, like a piece of meat. So in their mind, that is generating the image of this is my life, this is what I am. They don't understand. They really don't get it. They don't understand, or that it's supposed to be something beyond this. They cannot formulate a sentimental connection with anybody. They don't know how. Something has to start their mind in that line of evolution to make that happen. 9 times out of 10, if they form a sentimental connection with somebody, it's with another girl. Somebody they grew up with, a friend and whatnot. 2 of them might end up, becoming lesbians, because it's all about the sentimental connections. Always based on the mental. Always. It's always based on that stimulation, images, pictures. A story tells a lot. A person's story. You should be able to create stories in a person's head. A woman has to be able to draw out in her mind, just as a man has to draw out in his mind, visually, just beyond just just pounding you out. A man should be able to draw out in his mind when a man could talk about how he wants to touch you, when he could describe your skin, your eyes, your figure, not just your ass, not just your breasts, but he can describe your figure, your complexion, your eyes, the touch of your skin. He can be vague. You know what I mean? Or am I using, is it vivid or vague? I believe he could be vague. I mean vivid. Vivid in his descriptions of you. If he can be vivid in his description of you, then that means that you stimulated him mentally. You stimulated him mentally. You caught his attraction. You made it happen for him. Like I said, most men, first thing that come out of a man, she got a fat ass. That's the first thing that come out of his mouth. That's all you are. That's all that registers with him. Nothing else. Your eyes could be purple. You don't give a damn. You got a fat ass. You could be walking around with vampire eyes in your eyes or reptilian contacts in your eye. You don't give a damn. So she got a fat ass though. Because that's you're just an object. Your ass is an object. Your breasts are an object. You understand? Objective. Not subjective. Objective. Meaning that, you just a random piece of ass or breast. That's it. You could be anybody. When it's subjective, that means that the focus is on you. You're the subject of that person's intention. But as long as you just another piece of ass, you just an object. That's what they wanted to make you. A whole is a whole. Remember what I said? A whole is a whole. And you don't matter. You don't matter in the equation of this man's mind because you haven't stimulated. She don't matter. He don't matter in your mind. That's how come. Like I said, a lot of you women could just go through males like it's nothing. You can have 5 and 6 different males, and you think you're saying something when you say I got 5 and 6 different men. You know why you have 5 and 6 different men? Because you can't get one real man. That's why you got 5 and 6 different ones. You could not attract one real man. That's why you have different ones. They all have bits and pieces of qualities and things like that. Or a real man just don't, and you'll try to make it seem as though, I got them because I got it like that. I can't find what I want, so I'm going to just take many different men and whatnot. And, and you're not really saying nothing slick. Or you taking all these men inside you. You're not saying nothing really slick. See, because when you take all these men inside you like that, these different bloodlines and DNA and energy and things that's going inside of you, all this different intelligence that's written on that semen, you understand? When that's going inside you, that's scrambling up your genetic. That's scrambling your DNA. I said that man has messages. He has stories. He has memories. All that's on his sperm, on his semen, on his semental fluid. And that's going inside of you. And it becomes a part of your DNA. It becomes a part of your memory. Negative, positive. That's why a lot of you black women or you black females walk around here negative. Because I said before, I always said it, you have a lot of ignorant semen swimming up in you that just didn't leave yet. A lot of ignorant DNA. A lot of submental DNA swimming in you. And it has altered your mentality, your mindset. That's real. That's real. If these people have messages on their semen, i.e. their DNA, is carried in their bloodline to go and mix with your eggs to create chromosomes and genes and things like that to create a new life, then that means that person has intelligence or aka information on that sperm, on that semen. You understand that? That's real. You could lose a lot when you have different DNA in you like that. It can cloud your judgment. Judgment is short for judgmental, meaning it can cloud your decision making. It can make you make a lot of bad decisions because just like when you eat junk food and your body craves junk food, you taking a man's junk semen, next thing you know, your body craves junk semen. And you got a long list of men to where you damn women, y'all look beat up. Your body, y'all look older than what you look. You look worn down, torn up. Why? Because you got a lot of junk semen in you. A lot of submental semen in you. Men who didn't spark you for the long run, they sparked you for the short run. And you chalk it up as a mistake and move on to the next man. But what ended up happening was your mind is now permanently stimulated on a low vibration, on a low level. See, you keep getting, that's why you ever hear you women say, it's always the same man. I always get the same man, different name. Why do you think you say that? What do you mean when you say he's the same man, different name? What you really mean is that the same mindset, same way of thinking, same low mentality, same man attracts to you all the time because you put out to get that man. So when a man comes on a higher mental vibration who's stimulated on a higher level, you ain't going to talk to him. You're not going to talk. You're not going to be attracted to him because you've been eating junk food. Like I said, it's like a person who's been eating junk food, living off of McDonald's, and then you try to give them something healthy. They don't want it. It's the same thing. It's what you used to. It's what you become used to. And it tears you down. It destroys you. And a lot of you, like I said, a lot of the women, like I said, you could change a lot in the man. You can evolve him if you just close up shop and say no. You all did that more. Show men what it is that you really desire by not being with them and going and being with the men that you do desire, who travel on a high mental frequency, who move on a high mental frequency. You can evolve or turn men or males into gods. You women have the power to do that, to take men from the submental to the mental. But a lot of women, y'all don't want to do that. Because like I said, just like this fast food diet where you used to feasting on garbage, you used to feasting on garbage DNA, garbage sperm, garbage intelligence, submental ways of thinking, submental men or males. So you won't raise the vibration and the frequency. Don't tell me the woman don't got power. Think like a man, they say. That's what keep going back to that Steve Harvey book. You wanna think like a man? Today's black man, because he wrote that book, he says it's supposed to be for all races, but he wrote that book as a black man, focus on the black men. Think like a man. The mind of the man is garbage. So how is he going to tell you to think like a man? That means think like an animal. The mind of the man today, the average black man, is that of an animal because he learned well from his master, who's an animal. So why would you want to think like a man? What it should be is think beyond a man. Think on a higher level beyond a man. The hell he telling you to think like a man? Are these niggas' thoughts worth contemplating? Really? Are these niggas' thoughts worth contemplating? Do you really want to put your mind, if your mind is not there already, do you want to really put your mind on that submental level? And the white man, forget about it. And the rest of the races, they already on that submental level. They the kings and masters of it. Seek out the black man who vibrates on a high mental level. I'm not talking about these, pseudo-intellectual niggas, these educated niggas. I'm not talking about them who just basically read a whole lot of white man's books and just, like I said, nothing but tape recorders for the white man and his philosophy. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about those who possess a natural intelligence. You know the difference if you actually put that out there as what you want. If you put that out as the man you want who possesses a natural intelligence. Y'all used to call it common sense, but like I said, it's few and far in between now. So now we refer to it in the state of mental as chosen sense, because a lot of our people don't have natural intelligence. That seems to be a trait of the 1%. The average black man or black male, you know, like I said, he's just a walking, talking monkey now. He ain't that far from you, like thinking like an animal. The mental vibration on the average black man is very low. So seek above average men. Seek men who think above the average man. Don't think like a man. Think beyond a man. Think beyond the average man. You women, if you want to find suitable men to mix with and mate with, or mix your seed with, your bloodline, think like a god. Look for a god. Don't think like a man, because if you think like a man, you're going to get a submental person. You're going to get this same nigga who think in a rotation, same stupidity, and you're going to keep getting the same rotative group of niggas. You're going to keep getting niggas who same, different names, same nigga. Same mentality. Because you thinking like a man. What does the man think about? Basketball, smoking weed. That's what the black man think about. What the hell is the black man thinking about? Other than that, the average black man, the NBA playoffs, the video game. You really want to think like that? You want hell? If you want to think like a man, it's very simple. Just think like a child. That's how you think like a man nowadays. Thinking like a child is thinking like the average black man. Think like a child, and you pretty much got how it is to think like a man, like the average man. Like just like a child. It's not that much different. I'm going to play an oldie. We'll be right back. Just as animals and humans release an odor when they are ready or they're sending out that sign for sex, our people, the God race, the almond beings, we release a heat. You ever hear a woman say, black women say, damn, the way his eyes is on me, damn, I felt heat. You know? You feel a heat vibration. That's if a man concentrates, he can actually push a solar vibration through his solar plex, out of his eyes, through his mind, to the woman. And that sends messages. We have solar plexes, and we send sexual messages through that as well. That's the heat that you women feel when a man is looking at you. You be like, damn, that nigga eyes feel like it's burning into me. Damn, I already know what he wants. That's how strong that mental vibration is. Sending solar sexual connection, solar heat to you through the solar plex. That's real. See, a lot of these things are not explored because the white man spends time talking about animal magnetism and, you know, that funky sex and that animal stink sex and whatnot, you know, like the humans and them doing the dirty sex. They don't understand God sex or supreme beings, how they make sexual encounters. Because they'll spend all day trying to teach you that you just like them. When you know damn well you're not. They lying to you. You're not like them. You are not like them. You don't have sexual encounters the same way. Your sexual encounters carry a higher vibration. It used to be a time when you heard all kind of weird stuff. Like I said, like with R. Kelly when he was pissing on the women and things like that. Y'all be like, ew. Nowadays, y'all like, oh, damn, okay. Y'all ain't so disgusted no more. A lot of you are not so disgusted no more. A lot of y'all not outraged. A lot of y'all are not turned off, and a lot of y'all, you know, are not so. Y'all taking a second look at human sexuality, which is nothing but animal sexuality, animal magnetism, animal vibration. I said before, for those of you who are new that tuned in, you say, "Oh, damn, you talking about human? Well, what about us? What are we?" I said before that black people are not part of the human race. We're not part of the human species. You can look at us. Look at our hair, look at our skin, look at how we move, how we, you know, the rhythm we carry. We're not the same. We don't even have sex the same. We have sex in a rhythm. Same way we dance, same way we have soul, the same way you women move your hips, the same way that you're designed to hold children, the same way you're designed a certain way to move the same way we move. We made totally different. So therefore, we vibrate on a different mental frequency when it comes to sex. We vibrate on a mental sex drive. We move on a mental sex drive. They move on an animal sex drive. They're very indiscriminative about sex. That's why, like I said, the white man, the rest of them, they'll have sex with animals. You understand? That's where your sexually transmitted diseases come from. Your STDs, herpes, gonorrhea, those are animal diseases. That was when your white men were going up in sheep, having sex with sheep and all kind of other animals, because humans are animals. So they are attracted to animals. Have sex with the dog. You go on YouTube, see the woman sucking off the dog, all that stuff. Dog humping on them. It's all the same thing. So, and you know what? I'm not saying anything that's wrong. It's the truth. A lot of people might be offended by it, but it's the truth. Hell, a white man ain't offended by it. The East Indians ain't offended by it. Humans are animals. So you're supposed to vibrate on a higher mental frequency when it comes to sexual connection. An almond frequency, a God frequency. We are the almond race. We are not the human race. So we should vibrate on a higher frequency. And we were vibrating on a higher frequency. We were on our way toward it until it got hijacked. We were coming in contact with our sexual vibration and that solar energy, that solar mental energy, or that making that mental connection, that solar mind connection. We exchange the heat. You understand that? The white man used to say, he used to try to, we would have sex, try to put us on the level of animal. They in heat. You know, they was trying to say that about us during slavery. We was in heat because our vibration was so strong, our sexual attraction was so strong that even he could see it. Even an animal like them could see it. When we were connecting with each other mentally and our eyes met, they could see that. And they would be jealous because they don't do that. You understand? They don't do that. Now, y'all carry the same mentality as they do because there was no evolution to your sexual encounters. You didn't understand that you were vibrating on a different frequency or that you weren't even the same species as these people. So therefore, if you don't even know who you are, if you think that you're the same species as everybody else, then you're going to think that your sexual encounters go the same way. That's like saying, okay, a dog got a penis and a female dog got a vagina, so we have sex the same way. No, we don't have sex the same way, and we don't put out the same type of offspring. And this is not to be racist against anybody, because your white scientist said the same thing. They say humans are animals. Your white scientist said that. So already y'all carry a different sexual attraction, an animal magnetism. And I said that all throughout your Karma Sutras and all this stuff, and your tantric sex, y'all, that always is going to carry that vibration. That's animal magnetism. The odor, the smell, primitive. Solar sex, heat vibration, heat magnetism, solar mind sex. You understand that? That is the frequency in which we vibrate on. Because same way light passes messages, same way I explained to you that semen, as the cemental force carries DNA and messages on it, so does the solar energy, so does light carry messages. Said the cemental connection carries DNA messages on it. So we transmit thoughts by way of light. You can see it, you can feel it. All of our vibration, everything the connection that we make is based on light, on heat. Our intelligence level vibrates on that. As people who possess solar plexus. Those of our people who don't pick it up, like I said, their frequency their frequency has been lowered to a submental level. Animal magnetism. You understand that? That's why, like I said, a lot of you women, y'all crave these niggas who act like animals, which y'all call thugs. Never on no higher mental frequency. You understand? That's been made to look boring to you when that should excite the hell out of you. But you can't figure out what it is that you're missing after you lay up with these thug niggas. After he finished pounding you and doing all that pounding you out, doing all this stuff he do to you, you know, it's always, like I said, you're always gonna feel empty. Somewhere there's an emptiness. And like I said, you look to fill that void with the guy you end up making your mangina. The guy who you consider to be weak. The guy you consider, that's the guy that you just talk to. He don't get the sex. You go to the animal for sex. You go to the gorilla. Some nigga that's going to just don't, like I said, just pound you out. That's who you go to. When you used to seek out men who stimulated you mentally. We use the term in the state of mental. Now this is our new term, mentasexuals. I am a mentasexual. I'm attracted sexually to the minds of women. The mental level, the mental frequency of a woman. That has to stir something in me, a heat inside of me. I have to feel that mental vibration. If you're in tune with that, then you know it's real. If you're not, if you think that's BS, what he talking about? It's just sex, it's just having sex and screwing and jumping on top of each other, then you vibrate on a submental frequency. You understand? I said I don't lay with average women. Me, myself, I don't lay with average women. I lay with women who vibrate on a high mental frequency. I'm speaking for myself. Majority of the men are not discriminative. Or they are discriminative, even the little guys, but they, like I said, that's based on whether they're going to deal with you, because some of them vibrate on that, half of them vibrates on that animal magnetism or just sex and just jumping on you, and the other half is a mental thing where, like I said, and that's based on whether how long he'll deal with you versus who he's going to end up marrying and making his wife. He'll have, like I said, AKA the jump off, somebody he just smash here and there till he get tired. And he'll have his wife who he'll be with for life, the one who stimulates his intelligence and stimulates his imagination, takes him to a different level, stirs thoughts in him to make him think about the future. That's what every real man seeks. That's the connection that a man seeks, a real man seeks. But because he doesn't have that, he turns to a male. That's the real connection that real women should be seeking. And certain ones of you are seeking that, but you don't know how to verbalize it. You know something's missing with Raheem and these niggas, you know, the thug niggas and the animal niggas and whatnot. You'll stay in that thing because that's familiar to you, but you always know it's something missing. That's why you always miserable. Now, this nigga ain't gonna never do right, girl. Why this nigga? Why I'm with him? I don't know why. I mean, sex is good, but such and such. I heard y'all talk. You know. But it's always something missing. But I could talk to then you got your friend over there. But I could talk to Sean. I hear y'all conversation. I could talk to Sean. He my friend, but I know he wants something. But I ain't gonna get Sean none. You know, because that might just mess things up. All right? Yeah. Sean might be whack. I ain't even thinking about him like that. He like my best friend. All right? Well, you never, like I said, the two ships never meet. Somebody like a Sean and Raheem, those two never tend to meet. You know? You believe that the connection should be animalistic. That excites you. Why? You know why that really excites you? Because that is so far, things only excite people like that. That animal attraction excites people like that because that's so not what you are. I'm going to say it again. The animal magnetism and the attraction of the thug and things like that, that excites you women because that's so not who you are. Things that tend to be different from what you are tend to excite you in a submental way. You know, it's like the white woman who's all office-like and, and have her glasses on, and all just white bread. She'll have sex with some nigga, with some big black power nigga with an afro, because that's just so not her world. People like to step outside of their world, alter it, whether they dropping the vibration or raising it. You should always opt to raise the vibration. It'll last longer. You'll benefit more from it than lowering it, than laying with the thug nigga, laying with that nigga who could, twist your back out, You'll get more out of that in the long run when you raise the vibration with some man who can twist your mind out. You will pick up more from that. You'll gain more from that. That man will put pictures in your mind, future pictures, advanced ways of thinking. He'll set that in motion in your mind if you tune in, if you open your mind up to that. Most of you women are afraid to because, like I said, y'all stay in the same relationships because it's familiar to you, because you're afraid to move forward. You keep dating the same man and complaining about it, but that's what you understand. So you'll stay in that circle of madness. You'll keep going, like I said, same, different, same nigga, different name. That's how y'all say it. You'll continue in that. You don't want anything different because you're afraid of anything different. You don't know how you'll be in that world. You don't know how you'll live in that world. Will you sound stupid in that world? Will you be able to find some footing or some equal standing in that world? Will you be able to survive in that new world and that new way of thinking? You understand that? I've seen a lot of young girls who don't even have children yet, and they ready to mess up their lives with these nothing niggas. Just have babies with them. You'll stay in the hood just because you don't have a family. You don't have stability. So even on a submental level, he provides some sort of stability for you. You're afraid to take that leap. Your mind doesn't even think on that level. Always raise the bar and the vibration. That's where we were headed. Mentasexual. I didn't like a sister used the term sapiosexual to me. I didn't like the word sapiosexual. It sounds, I know it comes from the Greeks. Anything dealing with Sappho or sapio, that comes from the Greeks. And they were a bunch of homosexuals and lesbians and, you know. So I like the word mentasexual because that comes more from our tongue. You see the word men. Anywhere where you see the word men, and that's our tongue. That's from that Mentelian language. That is a constant and evolving language. There's no such thing as English. There's no such thing as Arabic. These are all misunderstandings in languages, things that got lost in translation, but our words stay with us even into the English language. English. Our sexual evolution and the mind power of sex is going to strengthen us and further our intelligence. It will start a new connection in our people. It will start a new and stir a new connection in the man and the woman. It will create or bring about or manifest a new man and woman. These mental sex connections. You'll see. And what I'm telling you, you women should try it sometimes. Hold out on the ignorant. Give yourself to the intelligent ones. These are going to be the last black men on earth. And I'm going to discuss that. I believe that's going to be Wednesday's broadcast. Yeah, the last black men on earth. The last true thinkers. The last real men. The last real black men on earth that you're going to end up with. We're in the final 7 to 8 minutes to our broadcast. I want to talk about the State of Mentel's Supermen, Superwomen project, which is going to be taking place in Brooklyn, New York, at 1368 Fulton Street, the Bed-Stuy Restoration Plaza on the 3rd floor in the gallery. Time is 3 p.m. it starts, and it goes up to 7. No one over 42, over the age of 42, will be permitted in. You can call 347-465-3602. In this project, we're going to be talking about eugenics. That's something that we're advocating in the state of Mentel, eugenics, the revitalization of our new genetic, the evolution of a new people, along with thinking faster and developing our intelligence to a higher level, how that can actually be done, things that can be practiced and applied to perfecting our level of intelligence. We will be doing this actively starting on May 20th, which is this Sunday. Catch us Monday night as we speak on, or I should say I'm going to be speaking on religion. and has it bred a homosexual mindset in the minds of our people, in the consciousness of our people. Tune in Monday night at 9 p.m. I'm going to get a better title for it. I don't like how I'm just verbalizing the title because it was an idea I had. So I'll get a better title for it, and I'll be posting it on Facebook. But tune in Monday night. It's going to be quite interesting, as always. If we don't have any more questions, comments, we in the last, let me see how many minutes we got left. Oh, we got one. Ooh, let me take one. Got one call in.
Hello?
404, you're on air.
Oh, hey, Mentel, this is DJ. Sometimes my friend Jermaine calls in with a college student.
Okay. Hey,
I remember
I remember you.
Yeah, what's up? All right, quick question. I've been listening to like a couple of your past broadcasts. You're really harsh on the black man. I understand where you're coming from. So I understand your thing with distinguishing the black male and the black man. I understand that. So what's your definition of a man? Because earlier you were saying that, well, a man's mindset is like a child or something to that effect.
I said the male's mindset is like a child, a black male, and that's a good percentage of the black males today. That's a good percentage of you males that are being mistaken for men. Majority of you are not men. You're just anatomically correct. You're not real men. I'm not saying you. I don't know you personally. I don't know how you live your life. I'm just speaking about the majority of these black, so-called black men out here, just males. They're anatomically correct, but they're mentally wrong. That's the definition of a real man, one who is mentally right.
Okay,
Follow?
be more specific, because I was
responsibility. Responsibility. When I say that, you wanted me to be more specific. Responsibility, your outlook, the ability or the inability to see the bigger picture in life. Black men, or so-called not black men, black males don't have that. This is why the majority of you black males, not saying you, I don't mean to put you in that, because like I said, I don't know you, sit around in school doing nothing, having your minds fixated on nothing, usually sitting around in the hoods of America smoking weed all day, pants hanging off your ass, going to school for nothing, the so-called educated ones who are not really focused on community and building anything for the evolution of our people. You're just out for money. A lot of you want to kiss the white man's ass, get a job that he's not, go for jobs that he's not going to give you. You don't have any brotherhood or brotherhood towards other black men, nor do you have respect for the black woman, any real black women out here. And like I said, the majority of the black males are just generally lukewarm and stand for nothing. That's what I mean.
Okay. And the second thing I wanted to get to, you said something. Like I've heard this time and time again about how women go for, as you put it, the animal versus the intellectual, which we've all been in. The woman goes for this guy who's going to treat her like shit. Sorry for the language. As opposed to the guy who's being a friend. So I'm just saying, in that case, now you're talking to the women. Well, why don't you talk to some of the guys out there who are in that situation and help them out and help them, get to those women? Like, help them make themselves more attractive to get those women, for the women to get those men that they actually want and deserve, I guess.
Well, here's the thing. The one thing I say about the guys who are animalistic, they are passionate and they stand on being who they are, which is animals. The problem with you so-called educated brothers is that y'all lukewarm. You're not passionate about what you want. You don't stand up for nothing. And like I said, a lot of you don't. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. Like I said, I don't know you. Like I said, but a lot of these black males who end up being the friends of these women, who end up becoming their manginas, that's the word I use for them. They end up like this because they have no passion. They are very lukewarm. They don't stand up for nothing strong. They have this mindset where it's just because they're educated, they're intelligent, which is usually not the case. They usually don't have any common sense or natural intelligence. And like I said, there's no spine there, no backbone. At least with the animal, he has enough spine or backbone to go for what it is he wants. Though he is primitive in his in his pursuit for it and keeping it, he's still primitive, but like I said, he's strong on it, and that's what the woman sees first. She doesn't see that in these guys who act like that.
And what I'm trying to get at is
how can I help them?
Like, basically, like guys like me and you, why don't we just grab them by the collar and tell them, hey, this is what you have to do, and I know you understand where I'm coming from. I hate to be vague, hey,
that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. That's the whole thing about me doing the Supermen, Superwomen project. That's one of the things I'm addressing in that and showing by example. See, because I don't have that problem. I'm the hybrid of both of that. I am one who takes what I want, and I do it intelligently. I'm not lukewarm. There's nothing lukewarm about me. I'm not one of the 99 percentile, nor do I come off as an educated. I'm not one who's been educated in that system or in that mindset. I carry a natural intelligence, and I'm not afraid to utilize it to get what I want. You understand?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Now, I will help you brothers out who are, I'm not saying you, like I said, I don't know you, sir, but I will help you brothers out who are vibrating on that frequency. I will be a living example. Because as I said, and I'm not trying to brag or trying to say I'm all this, that, and the third, but I carry myself on a certain vibration, and I don't allow myself to fall in between the two. I walk beyond that. Okay?
Okay, I understand.
So I'm just speaking on me, like I said. And the brothers who I get around myself, who come around me, like I said, they carry the same vibration. I make sure that they carry that same vibration as well. And if not, I try to foster that in them. Because, as I said, this is going to be the new black men that are coming up. Those who not walking on the left side or the right side. We're walking straight down the line in the middle and beyond where it is that what these black women are used to, the animalistic type or the so-called educated mangina type. We're walking beyond them. That's what we're going to talk about that Wednesday in the when we talk about the last real black men on earth. We're going to evolve beyond that.
Okay, I see where you're going with that one. All right.
That's your question. That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, keep on listening. Like I said, just be strong. All I can tell you is be strong and firm on what you want, and use your natural intelligence. Tune in and key in on your natural intelligence and your common sense and whatnot. You ain't got to be an animal to get what you want. Just be a man about it. Be a real man about it. Stand on something and be passionate about it. That'll stand out much longer than the animal. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. If we don't have any other calls, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut the brother off if he was trying to get on. I think that was it. If we don't have any other calls, I'm going to end this broadcast. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkarayzz. This has been State of Mentel Radio. Catch us again Monday night at 9. Same time, of course, all the way up to 11. Good night.